So fear unlocks your future. Does everyone here have an experience of fear, being afraid? And what I've found out is that the reason we're not doing everything we want to do in life is because we're holding ourselves back. We are the only people doing that, by the way. It's nothing to do with circumstances, it's nothing to do with anything except our perceptions and what we're willing to do. And fear is a huge driver. Now, I used to have a very bad relationship to fear, as I told you, with social anxiety and panic attacks. Now, my problem was thinking the anxiety was a problem. I used to think the anxiety was a bad thing, when actually fear has evolved for millions of years and is extremely perfect in its action. Now, operationally, I like to think of fear in two basic ways. One is danger fear. Now that is, you're walking in a dark alley at 3 in the morning and your body's screaming at you to get out of there and it's saying, don't be a bloody idiot, get out. It's quite useful, right? It stops you dying. It's very, very effective. Now the other type of fear, which I could call for everything else, is awareness fear. Now that is just literally what I've said, awareness. So you enter a new situation and your body is like screaming at you. It feels like danger fear sometimes, it's very confusing, but the messages you're getting are much more complex. In fact, for me, I gave a talk a few weeks ago at the BBC for their staff. Now, it's quite prestigious, I had it looked in for months and it was fine. 10 days before, I started to freak out. I started to get this gripping feeling in my heart, like it felt like it was being squeezed. My chest was tight, my throat was tight, my head felt like it was in a vice. It was excruciating. And I'm frustrated, I help people face their fear and live their passion, and yet I'm still afraid. What's that all about? And it really annoyed me. So I was talking to my coach about it before, and as he got me to explain what the fear was like, I was telling you about how frustrated I was, and about that I shouldn't have this anymore, I should have evolved past this. And that was the key. It wasn't the fear that was the problem, it was my frustration around the fear. So fear works, right? It comes in, you get this feeling, strong feeling, and it inspires you to action. You take action, it's done its job. What I was doing was bottling it up. As if you've got a bottle of fizzy drink that you've shaken up and put your finger in. And my frustration was holding it in place. It wants to burst out, but I wasn't letting it. That was where my pain was coming from. And so then we devised a question for me to ask myself. And the question was, am I willing to learn to love excruciating pain by experiencing it? And I know it's a weird question, but my answer is yes. So I want to evolve, I want to grow. And so my answer was yes. And as soon as I answered that question, it was like I took my finger out the bottle, it released and then settled. And everything changed, and I started to feel good. It changed that fast. Now, interestingly, the reason I came